Hey guys, it's Wishy Analyses, and today we're going to talk about Spottedleaf. Okay, so Spottedleaf is a tortoiseshell she-cat. Her long-ass description on the wiki is a small, slender, lithe, orange and brown, dark tortoiseshell and white she-cat with a distinctive dappled coat and small white paws, a white chest, and a white muzzle. One of her eyes is rimmed with darker fur than the other. She has a black-tipped, golden-brown striped tabby tail and soft fur. She has a mottled face with a soft, small pink nose and warm, large, pale, clear amber eyes. Oh, okay. So, overall, I really liked Spottedleaf in the beginning before all the weird stuff with her and Fire just happened. I mean, she was like, I loved her. She was super sweet and smart, but humble, and even though she seemed like kind-hearted, like she is kind-hearted, but even though she seemed like she would maybe back down from a challenge, you could see that she was like, she didn't take disobedience. Like when Tiger Star was, or Tiger Claw at the time was like, no, I gotta train Ravenpaw, and Spottedleaf's just like, how about you listen to me and you don't do that because he needs to be laying down. And Tiger Claw's like, ugh, fine. So you could see that Spottedleaf would stand up to anything as long as it like was within her job. Like she's not gonna let Tiger Claw take Ravenpaw just because Tiger Claw might be a little scary. She's like, no, he needs to do this, and I'm not gonna let you do the other thing because that goes against it, if that makes any sense. So I did like Spottedleaf, but then she died, and it was weird because somehow Spottedleaf and Fire fell in love somehow, somewhere, and Firepaw only realizes it after she dies, but I guess she loved him anyway. And like, I haven't read the first book in a while, granted, but I don't remember anything where it explicitly implied that they were like, that they liked each other. And at the time, Firepaw's like, what, 6 moons old? He's tiny. Spottedleaf, when she died, let me look this up. Spottedleaf was approximately 49 moons, 4.08 years at death. She was 4 years old. And Bramble and Fire was like half a year old. And that seems like a really big age gap for me. Like, that's a huge age gap. She's like old and Firepaw's like a baby, and they somehow fell in love. I can maybe understand Fire, but Spottedleaf though, like I don't get it. I don't get it. And Fire in this, I'm like reading the wiki because it gives me summaries of what I read like 5 years ago. He's constantly seen going to Spottedleaf and asking for different herbs to help heal Yellowfang, such as poppy seeds and mouse bile. Okay, so that means he likes her, because from what I'm getting from that is that he wants to take care of Yellowfang because that's his quote-unquote punishment, but in the end he ends up wanting to do that. And so it's not like he's seeing Spottedleaf on purpose. I think he might have been, like, a little bit. Like, sometimes he would go on purpose. I remember that kind of feeling where he'd go as an excuse, like, to see her. But it wasn't, like, all the time. Like, for the most part, he just wanted to take care of Yellowfang. And maybe he felt close to Spottedleaf, but I would interpret that as, like, a motherly thing. But then Spottedleaf dies, and Firepaw's like, oh, I think I liked her. And I'm just like, why? I don't understand. And Spottedleaf's honest answer, which I guess is a short story, she says, it wasn't love at first sight. She hadn't noticed him until he asked to take care of Yellowfang and saw past the fact that she had been born in ShadowClan. But, I mean, if we go back, of course Firepaw doesn't care about clans yet. He literally just got there. He doesn't understand boundaries. Like, he knows they're there, but he hasn't internalized that yet. So of course he's not gonna completely be biased about Yellowfang. Like, so that doesn't really make sense. And then she said she liked him when she saw him wanting to take care of Yellowfang. Let's go back. Yellowfang was a prisoner at the time. So, and it was his punishment to take care of her because Firepaw was like... Because Firepaw fed her prey before he took her there. And Firepaw ate some too before giving it to the elders. So Blue Star's like, okay, well, you need to take care of Yellowfang because A, you fed her, B, you fed yourself, and C, I don't know what else to do with her. So there it is. There's your punishment. So it's not like Firepaw was being super nice in the beginning because he had to do it and he hated it. He hated it so much, like, in the beginning. So it's not like he was being super selfless, and I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't get Spottedleaf. I don't get Firepaw. It makes no sense. And then the Erins, they made her a ghost that never disappeared, and I loved her. But then they just kept making her worse, and it's just like, maybe I can understand Spottedleaf going to Firepaw because he was basically her prophecy. Like, she got the prophecy for fire, so maybe she feels entitled or, like, not at fault per se, but you get it. Like, she wants to make sure that the prophecy's fulfilled. I can understand that. I can understand her becoming his mentor, like, in StarClan in order to make sure the prophecy's fulfilled. I can get that. But, like, the way the Erins portray it and the way they, like, confirmed it, basically, is that she guided him because she loved him. Which, again, you already know, I don't understand because she's old and they barely interacted, but whatever. And she just, like, they just ruined her. She was, like, so kind and humble and, like, selfless. And then when she's a ghost, she's suddenly, like, doing shit, like, in, what is it, the SkyClan book? Is this, no, Firestar's Quest. So when they find SkyClan, she just, like, at one point, she gives them burdock root, I think, because they got bit by by rats. There it is, folks, by rats. They as in Firestar and Sandstorm. And she's like, don't worry, Sandstorm, he loves you. And then she does this thing where she whispers in his ear something like, oh yeah, but if I wasn't a med cat, I would totally hit that. Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you say that? Sandstorm's right there. Like, why would you say that anyway? I don't get her. I don't get the Erins. I don't know why they keep ruining my medicine cats. Ugh. And in, the honest answer thing, she says after her death, she lay in her den for 1 moon, hoping that Firepaw would join her. She said that, had she lived and been cut off from him as a medicine cat, she would have walked with him as he became a warrior, deputy, and then leader. Instead, she had to watch from far away, and sometimes she was cut off from seeing him. And it's like, why? Again, they literally turned Spottedleaf into a, like, from an actual character who was strong but kind into, oh my god, I'm a doting 4-year-old cat who loves a 6-month-old kitten, and instead of becoming my own character, I've literally just become this thing that goes into Firepaw's dreams and makes him, like, conflicted about what he needs to do and who he can like, and I get so mad. The way, and the Erins haven't just done this with Spottedleaf. I feel like Spottedleaf is the best example of them ruining characters and just making them accessories to the main ones. But, oh my god, I'm so mad because Spottedleaf has so much potential and she could have been, like, a badass mentor. And I know Yellowfang sort of took on that role with Jayfeather, which I loved. But they could have done it with Spottedleaf, and they didn't. They just made her an accessory, and meh. So let's talk about her death for a minute. Let me just get that sigh out of the fucking way, because let me just get that sigh out of the way, because even the Erins, I think it was Kate. I want to say it's either Kate or Vic. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Kate. Okay. Kate stated that Spottedleaf was killed so Firestar didn't have to choose between her and Sandstorm in StarClan. Okay. Let's just go over that for a minute. Let's just go over this for a minute. Okay. Why? Because that doesn't... Oh my god. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this. I'm so... Like, I'm upset that she died this way. I'm upset that she didn't die just to save Sandstorm because Sandstorm is who Firestar loved. I'm upset that she died because he didn't have to make a choice. As if she and Sandstorm were, again, just accessories to Firestar, and heaven forbid he would have to, quote-unquote, choose between a 4-year-old medicine cat who's 4 years older than him, I should say, because he's obviously older than he used to be when he was a kid. Between a medicine cat who he barely interacted with and his freaking mate who he loves, and Sandstorm loves him indefinitely. She is loyal as hell to him. And you kill off Spottedleaf just so he doesn't have to choose between them. I feel like he wouldn't have to choose between them because he loves Sandstorm. Apparently, that's what you kept saying throughout the entire series, so I don't know why you think it's an issue now. Maybe if you didn't make Spottedleaf a stupid girlfriend instead of her own cool self that you portrayed in the beginning, maybe you would have written better, because this sucks. I loved that she died saving Sandstorm. I don't, why did they have to say that? Why would you say that? He wouldn't choose. I hate that she's just there to create unnecessary conflict. It's really dumb. She had such a bigger role, and then they were just like, how about we just make her a sort of passive-aggressive, petty person? Let's do that. What was the life she gave Firestar? If it's love, I'm gonna pee. Let's see. She appears at Firestar's leadership ceremony to give him his 8 life, along with the gift of love. She instructs him to give it to all cats he cared for, especially Sandstorm. So yes, she gave him the life of love. And then specifically says to give it to Sandstorm. So again, the Erins are implying that Spottedleaf knows that Fireheart doesn't really love her as much as she does, and that Sandstorm is who he ultimately loves. So again, he shouldn't have a problem choosing. And oh boy. So yeah, that's Spottedleaf. Do I think she's a good character? I'm gonna go ahead and say no, because the character quote-unquote development that she goes through is just, it's shallow. It's shallow as hell. It's just like, she had a good start. It was pretty prospectful. I don't know what is the word. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good start. And then they were just like, how about she's just there? Not as a mentor, but feigning to be a mentor, and instead making him question his loyalties to his mate. There it is. And she doesn't realize anything like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Like, she's constantly a hypocrite. She's like, oh, you love Sandstorm. She's better for you. Also, I'm gonna whisper in your ear, like, hey, P.S., I love you, and if I wasn't dead, I'd probably hit you up. And Firestar's like, well, shit, what do I do? So, she's contradictive, and her character doesn't go through any major changes. Like, she just dips down and stays there and never gets better, or worse. Like, bad character development isn't necessarily negative development. like, if Spottedleaf had continuously gotten jealous and eventually, like, actually reacted like a normal person, because after a while, unrequited love is kind of, it sucks. It sucks so bad. And if she had, like, gone to a downward spiral, like, what is it, Maple Shade? The one who killed her, actually. Fancy that. You know, maybe it would have been better, because her character would have actually changed instead of just staying the same. And, I mean, she does sort of keep the strong, what is it, the headstrong nature of her. Like, you can sort of see it when she's, I think at one point she just yells at the Dark Forest warriors, like, hey, you're not welcome here. But that's, like, one event out of 10 books. So I'm not even going to count it as her keeping that, because she doesn't demonstrate it enough to even be a personality. So yeah, she's a bad character. They ruined her. They ruined my Spottedleaf. She had such great potential and they ruined her. So yeah, thanks for listening. This was probably really sad because Spottedleaf's really popular, and I don't blame her for being popular because she had a good start, but then they ruined her. If you want me to do someone that's not the next down the list, I have no idea who's next, and I don't really feel like getting the book right now to look. But if you want me to do a different character, then totally comment, and I'll probably do it, because I really have no disposition to the order I go in as long as I get most of the characters down. So yeah, thanks for listening again.